In the 16th century, Europe was a land of renewed religion, political upheaval, and never-ending warfare. In the south, Spain was a dying powerhouse of Catholicism. Across the western Mediterranean, Italy was a jumble of warring city-states. Crossing the Alps, the Holy Roman Empire was a new land of religious autonomy. In northern Europe, countries officially abandoned the Pope for Protestant values. Finally, France was a battlefield between a split church. French monarchy asserted strong Catholic rule throughout the 16th century, but Lutherans and Calvinists populated the country too. Huguenots, who were French Protestants, constantly fought against the government to practice their religion freely. This conflict would steadily continue across the 16th century in a series of skirmishes until one king ended the French Wars of Religion. Born as a Catholic in southern France, Henry de Bourbon was raised by his mother, who introduced him to Calvinism. After his mother's death, Henry became King Henry of Navarre at the age of 19. Alongside the Huguenots, he fought for religious toleration. In 1572, he married Margaret of Valois, a member of the royal family of France.
3 jours de violence a commencé sur la nuit de août 23, 1580 and spread from town to town. Officials recruited Catholic citizens into militia groups that hunted down Huguenot citizens, indulging not only in murder, but in gruesome torture, mutilation, and desecration of the dead.
The chaos that ensued was dubbed St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre. Thousands of Huguenots were killed as Catholics rioted in Paris because a Protestant was now part of the royalty of France.
So it was determined to exterminate all the Protestants, and the plan was approved by the Queen. All agreed that the King of Navarre should be spared by reason of the royal dignity and the new alliance.
King Henry III of France tried to be impartial to either religion. Henry of Navarre represented the Protestants, and Henry Duke of Guise commanded the Catholics. Eventually, Henry Duke of Guise and his Catholic army invaded Paris by force, so the King of France and the King of Navarre banded together. To add even more tension, King Henry III had the Duke of Guise assassinated to disorient the Catholics. In 1584, before he himself was assassinated, King Henry III handed his power off to Henry of Navarre, the next legitimate ruler in line for the throne. Henry of Navarre became King Henry IV, the first Protestant ruler of France. Soon, Catholics barricaded Paris to fend off the new king, and Spain considered invading the country. To end the struggle, King Henry IV finally decided to convert to Catholicism. The Huguenots felt betrayed, while the Pope felt unsure about the conversion. Either way, the king's popularity rose higher as the religious conflict in France faded away. He finished out the rest of his reign with strong international relations and support of religious equality. In 1598, the Peace of Vervins was signed to establish temporary peace between France and Spain. Later that year, he set in place religious equality for both Catholics and Protestants across France with the Edict of Nantes.
We ordain that the Catholic, Apostolic, and Roman religion shall be restored and re-established in all places and localities of this our kingdom and countries subject to our sway, where the exercise of the same has been interrupted, in order that it may be peacefully and freely exercised without any trouble or hindrance.
Protestant religious freedom was an important step for France, but it was short-lived. After King Henry IV's death, a long line of Louis restored France to firm Catholicism. The Edict of Nantes was limited over time and Protestants lost rights. Religious freedom did not reassert itself until the 1789 Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen. This declaration, passed 200 years after the Edict of Nantes, kicked off the French Revolution. King Henry IV was actually a popular symbol during the Revolution, even though he was part of the monarchy. His statue was torn down, but it was the first one to be rebuilt after a new government was created.
Dans le meurtre, mais aussi dans la torture, mutilation et désécration des morts.
in order that it may be peacefully and freely exercised without any trouble or hindrance.
And the new alliance. Let's try that again.